Baby.
You going right here.
Hey y'all. Hey y'all.
He had Miss Tiffany Brown in the building.
I'm sure.
Building.
Tiffany Brown, how was your day?
Oh, get my peanut butter. I need my peanut butter. Pass me my peanut butter. Where my peanut butter go?
Oh, the peanut butter.
I gotta have my peanut butter. Oh, what? I need my peanut
I told you
butter.
it wasn't my peanut butter.
I gotta have the peanut butter, baby.
I told you it wasn't my peanut butter, it was his.
My peanut butter. It's protein for these muscles right here. You know what I'm saying? Stop playing. Hey, that's my favorite food. You see that joint right there? You see that joint? Look at that joint right there. That's real right there. You
Why
stop
ain't nobody
playing.
warning me about this one?
Warm, you ain't been watching the show? You ain't been watching the show? You're
I'm
supposed to
sorry.
know.
I be in my own little world.
You listen. You know how you can tell? Always look at the lips.
Yeah.
Look at the lips. Nigga got pink lips. You know he like me. I'm just saying. That's what it is.
If he got pink lips,
You know he like me. That way you know automatically. Let me see. He borderline. He's still right there. He borderline.
Going for it. This is the tip though.
I know, that's what
What he say? He got the what?
Blunt lips.
That's why I said he borderline. He borderline right there. It's gonna be alright.
Yeah, y'all. So anyway, what's the deal with everybody? We here on the show tonight. You know what I'm saying? We got the queen in the building. We rocking out with the 4 Horsemen as y'all rocking with us. Y'all rocking with
Yo, what happened to my spoon, cuz?
You know what I'm saying? And you know, we're gonna get on into that beautiful type interview. This is just a different special moment. You know, we got one of the baddest females from the city of Philadelphia representing Tri-State. And check her Facebook and her Instagram out. She got a lot of stuff that she's doing to talk about and, you know what I mean, bring it to the community. Yo, let's clap for that, though. You know what I mean?
Clap it up, babe!
Yeah.
Meet Joe, what's up, baby? What's going on?
So,
You know what I mean?
I don't know where to look. Where should I look? Here.
No, the camera. Always look at the camera. We live, but look at the camera.
We live now. So what's going on, sis? Matter of fact, how was your travels coming here?
Well,
What's up,
I'm
cuz?
surprised
What's
you
up,
didn't say that.
baby?
Yeah.
But it was good.
An hour away? Yeah.
Good hour away.
Yeah.
I got a nice little exercise because I had to walk about a mile.
That's what's up.
No parking. I had to get in my Philly bag. I was like, all right, let me focus. Let me
Hey,
figure
Don,
this out.
can you get me a
Yeah,
spoon?
that's what's up. You know what I mean? You know, it's a good thing. So, tell us a little bit, like, you know, where you from, you know, what you about, and what you like to do. What entertains you, and how do you entertain your crowd?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. And I am originally from Pittsburgh. I moved to Philly in 2005. I lived in Philly for 4 years. Then I moved to Baltimore. I lived in Baltimore for 5 years. And then I came back to Philly when my son decided to go to UArts. So I've been here. I work in the mental health field. I work with children who have extreme mental health issues. You know, I'm the lady that they call when they throw in the desk and they punch the teacher.
Right.
So I work with the youth. I feel the youth are our future. So I feel that we owe a lot. We owe a lot to them. A little bit about me. I went through a spiritual awakening about a year ago.
I know that, right? Y'all hear that?
And,
Yo, let's clap for that, y'all. Woo! That's what I'm talking about.
And
Explain, what's up?
God just really started showing me who it is that I am, right?
Right.
And it started with a self-love journey, or I should say it started with getting out of a relationship with a person I was married to for 7 years that I didn't realize was a narcissist. So I did a lot of research and study, and I realized that getting out of a relationship with a narcissist is unlike anything you can ever experience because you're actually very mentally damaged. Like you really need to go through like a recovery.
Stop for 1 second. Just for the people that's watching, I'm not calling anybody stupid, But for those who don't know, can you tell them what a narcissist is?
So, a narcissist is so the name narcissist is an actual clinical diagnosis. It's an actual book.
Right.
And you have to meet certain criteria. People can be a narcissist, or people can have narcissistic traits. A person that is a narcissist is a person who does not have a solid sense of self.
Right.
So they have to utilize other people for their emotions, how it is that they feel about themselves.
Facts.
They use other people to kind of like be that mirror. They typically don't go to therapy. It's really not a way to create a sense of self after you're already an adult. That fragile sense of self could look like a son raised by a single mom, who had an issue with dad. Your dad wasn't shit, your dad.
Right,
So then the kid says, well, that's my dad, and he's a reflection of me. If he's bad, I'm bad. Right?
So that's created by the parent, by the mom.
It's definitely
it's not something that you're born into.
Nope.
It's something that develops over time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
It will definitely, it has everything to do with your childhood.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can have a solid sense of self built because you have people that were positive, or you could have a mixture, right? So not a lot of positive people, but enough people to kind of like balance it out, mentors and things like that. I had that teacher, that uncle, but yeah, narcissists are.
Okay, all right. Back to your story.
So I was married to a covert narcissist. They are the worst kind because they look like really great people. Wow. They come off as really great people. Narcissists, they love bomb you at the beginning of the relationship, and that's how they hook you in. So basically, our brain loves to feel good. So they love bomb your brain like a drug, right? So you're loving that feeling. They make you feel seen. They make you feel heard. They make you feel everything that you didn't get in your childhood. So they love bomb that little child in you, right? So that's why you can see adults and you're just like, yo, like, why won't they leave this chick? Or why won't he leave that dude? And like, a child is naive, right? So if you trick a child with some kid, like, you're going to have a child hooked. And then when they flip and now they're being nasty to you, you're fighting to get back to that good, yummy place that we used to be at. And it becomes a continuous cycle because they go through, I love you, I hate you, I love you, I hate you. And it's really a very mentally mind-blowing type of relationship. And a lot of us are in those relationships. So I just couldn't believe it. I worked in the mental health field all my life, right? Yeah. So and I realized with me, I always felt like, oh, something is a little wrong with them, I felt obligated to stay and help and fix and all of that kind of stuff. But when you come into true self-love, you realize that, like, you can't fix anybody but yourself. And they have to, like, we become fixers and we become all of these things because it validates who we are. But then when we realize that only God validates who we are, come on now, we're chosen to be here. Right. When we see ourselves through His eyes, that we're beautifully and willfully made, I'm not looking for that validation from the outside because I already have it, right?
Yo, that's real.
So I believe that when people get out of a narcissistic relationship, I feel every person that walks away from a narcissistic relationship healthy and whole has come into some level of self-love that they didn't have when they got in the relationship. So a lot of us have gone through spiritual awakenings. We're just all at different levels of it.
So what I'm getting ready to do, I'm going into my phone, right? So I want to Google the word. I'm sorry, interference. I would like to Google the word special. And the reason why I want to Google the word special is because the people that she's talking about are basically special needs, right? So it's kind of funny that the word special, here we go. Let's see if we pick it up. We'll go like this. Even though we know the word and we have the meaning, but let's hear it. Google, tell me the meaning of the word special.
Particular, individual, or certain, you'd better call the special number. Pertaining to a particular person, thing, instance, etc. Distinctive, unique, the special features of a plan. Having a specific or particular function, purpose, etc. A special messenger.
Yo. Now, there's a reason why. That's all that was positive, right? So, there's a reason why I believe God named this special type of crew special needs. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all get where I'm going with this?
But they're special needs. Now, I work with both.
Okay.
Special needs are autism, Down syndrome.
Right.
Narcissists are clinical.
Yeah.
And they're dangerous.
Yeah.
Can I be clear?
Don't
They
wait,
are dangerous.
Stop it.
There's
Stop it.
nothing special.
All right,
They
hold
are
on.
low
Wait.
level
You cannot
entities
wear the
walking in a
You cannot
human body.
Wait.
being
Go
in
ahead.
the field that you're in, you cannot do that. Just
Uh-oh.
because you had an experience with one, they still have a chemical imbalance in their brain that make them do the things that they do, which still makes them special need. They need help, they need medication, they need things that helps them.
Right.
It's still a chemical imbalance
Exactly.
that
But the difference
every
is
person,
here.
no, there are no differences.
Right.
Matter of fact, there is. They may be more dangerous than the average or other.
They typically
other-
refuse help.
They do refuse. That doesn't mean they don't need it.
Oh,
So
they
we
don't.
cannot be biased
Y'all hear that?
to someone
I was going to go
like
there
that.
with
There's still special needs.
that. Exactly.
You
I
know
was
what I'm
going to
saying?
go
Still
see.
considered
The
special
reason why I
needs.
say that.
She ready to hit me too.
All right.
Also,
Like
you know,
special needs, like that's like a kitten. You just really
No.
a
Special
lion.
needs.
Look,
Look, what we're
a
talking
lion
about.
can need special needs
Right.
too.
But what we're talking about though is a great topic because honestly, negativity and positive, you know what I mean? You know, it still falls into. Hold up, I just want to get this
I'm
off.
gonna piggyback
It
off of you.
it still falls into special need. The reason why I say that is because the average person like us really don't need that. Any type of attention, medication, or any extra help. You understand what I'm saying? God just bless you as you are. You know what I mean? It's up to us to have or wake up with the ability to say, you know, I got this. You know, I'm gonna move today. I'm gonna move this way. I'm gonna operate this way. Special need, those are either with, like you said, narcissist anger problems or, you know, ignorance. They still dealing with some type of med. So I believe that there's some type of special care. I was watching something on social media last week. Real-ish. Some guy was up Broad and Island here, Broad and Shoe. This was at 8 o'clock at night. And if anybody watching this on Facebook and Instagram, y'all probably saw this video too. There was a guy standing in the middle of Broad Street with a baseball.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
And what happened was he broke out of the hospital from he was 302 or whatever. It was in his record and file that he was a narcissist too, but he was off his meds. He was going through a lot of
He
stuff.
was like hitting every
He was
car
off
that
his
drove
meds.
past.
Yeah, he hit every car that drove past, and one of the guys
caught
got
a
out.
bad
and
break
then-
if somebody hit my car.
One of the guys got out and gave him a run for his money.
Oh, all right.
But he wound up running him over his money, you know what I mean? But the reason why I'm saying it is because an average person know better. You know what I'm saying? Than a person who has special needs. I mean, they know better, but know better to a certain degree. They might be off a little bit, and they might be on one. You know what I mean? So I had an experience. I'm not going to put no names out there. But I was dealing with a woman, too, who, you know, somebody from my past. I couldn't understand. It's like when you make up with the person and you're in a relationship and everything's going well. I mean, for 1 to 2 weeks, and then you find a reason to want to be upset or want to argue or just pick something or something.
Yo,
and I don't know, it's like,
having a moment.
is it like,
I think we go far.
It's the Champo show. It's the Champo show.
I can't understand this. I'm like, why a woman, listen, I mean, as much as we make up and do what we got to do and try to be positive, where the heck is this left field, era or lane coming from?
Mm-hmm.
Do you need to seek help? And then I understood it. Well, when our sons came out with, he had a little disability problem. And I kind of understood. I said, you know what? It might just be in her bloodline. So then I went back to her father and her mother, and the mom was good, but the pot was off. So when you said something about blood, it strikes as something that makes them go off.
It's two ways. Okay, so it's two ways. Okay, so somebody that's on meds, right? It's something biological going on, right?
Okay, right.
But then there's also personality disorders,
Right.
which narcissism falls under it, and there's no medication for that.
I see what
For
you're
people
saying.
that have borderline personality disorder, they're the type that the single white female,
Right.
like love
Right.
you, hate you, but like they are the chick. They will lie. They will say that you raped them. They
Right.
will do
Oh,
everything.
my
They
God.
call your family.
Woo.
They send out videos, pictures. They do.
Oh my
They're
God.
just they're not satisfied until you
Right.
are no more.
No more,
Really, that's
right.
how they. And then the coverts, they gonna kill you slow.
Yeah.
Slow. They
Yeah.
oh, are you okay? Meanwhile, they just handed you the poison, and it's such a mental mind f when you wake up because you're in a cognitive dissonance because you're continuously making excuses and trying to figure it out. And this is the one thing that how I summed myself up, which I thought was hilarious, is like you're like, oh, this isn't working. Let me try harder. And it's like you're trying harder at this thing that is not getting better. Right. But what you don't realize is your brain is just trying to get back to that place when it was good. And they do that because it's like we fight and then they're sweet. Right. And then 1 minute we're not talking for 1 day and then 1 day turns into 3 days. And then the next fight is 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. They play games with sex. Like they withhold, and then whenever you're about to go crazy, then they step back and look at you like.
I remember these days.
Yeah.
I remember. You know what? That's crazy.
So, in your to be positive, in your definition, you said messengers, right? Mm-hmm. So, what narcissists teach us is self-love. Right. Right. So, without our narcissists, and because I used to ask God, like, okay, so where is the difference? Because I grew up a Christian, right?
Me too.
Since I was a little person.
Yeah.
So I'm like, where is the line between spirituality and mental health? I always wanted to know that. And when I came into a higher level of spirituality, I started to see the cross. Yeah. And there are people that believe that there's certain spiritual entities that are tied to those people that suffer from mental illness, and when those spirits are released from them, they're fine. They come off their medication, things of that nature. Sometimes I feel young people are actually going through a spiritual awakening because the dark night of the soul of our spiritual awakening is like a mental crisis, right? We're like, why is all this stuff coming up? We're crying, we're depressed, we're anxious. We're like, what the heck is going on? Right. So that could be a spiritual awakening, and sometimes I believe our teenagers, because they are the starseeds. So our young people now are the ones that are really, really called and chosen. And I think it's sad that we don't realize that, right? So I feel like they're going through a spiritual awakening at times with their mental health. Yeah. It's just...
it's crazy.
So, let me ask you a question. You've mentioned spiritual awakening several times. What was your experience that you consider your spiritual? What was your experience? What happened that opened your eyes and made you say, now I can see, or now?
It was a few different things, right? But the biggest thing was spending that time and I feel like a lot of us went through a spiritual awakening in quarantine, right?
Right.
We was home.
Right.
And we couldn't go nowhere. We just had to deal with it, right?
Facts.
So I feel like being
Facts.
home and with God, I was going through a breakup.
Okay.
And he just would not allow me to feel not enough, right? And it was like he and I were like going back and forth. And he was like, no, like this is who you are. You are these things. I will not allow you to feel like because he left, he chose somebody else or chose that. Like, no longer are you going to be able to compare or feel like I'm less than. No, I'm everything. I'm 100% solid, whether you leave or you stay, right? So just that tug of war back and forth with God until I finally was just like, okay, I see me like you see me, right? And then I realized that some of us are a spiritual, and then I would journal, right? So I would be journaling and I would be writing stuff down.
Do you write your gratitude?
I write my gratitude or just whatever is in my head or my mind. And I would write stuff down and I wrote something about, I was like, you know what, I think I'm a heavenly body having a human experience, right? And I was like writing it down and I was like, where did that come from, right?
Right.
Then I started running into information.